the temperature of the office today, and the glass was like 100 and something degrees, and then the window frame was like 112. So
that's wild.
Yeah, it was so hot, and it got up to 93 in my office today. Like the temperature in my office was 93 today, and I was like, this is getting unrealistic. Yeah. Like this is getting really bad. And to cool the office, it makes the rest of the house like 70 degrees to cool my office to a reasonable temperature. And I was like, this is just getting unrealistic. So after the sun went down today, I went outside. Well, as the sun was setting today, I guess.
There we go.
I went outside and put my hurricane panels on the window just to see, like, tomorrow how much of a difference it makes during the day. So, yes, I have my blinds open because I was working on that earlier today. Yes.
It'd be interesting to see. I want to know about.
I want to know, because I know the panels themselves will absorb most of the heat, but how much will that still transfer to the glass, right? Like how?
Yeah.
And does it actually change the fact that? Does it actually change the fact that I'm still in a hot box, regardless, right? Like, I mean, it's still the sun's still shining on the roof.
Thermodynamic majors in here.
Yeah, it's still on the roof. It's still all that other kind of stuff, right? So how much does that one window impact the overall ambient temperature? I'm sure it's going to be a couple of degrees, but we'll just see how many couple of degrees.
Though. Yeah. Fair enough. So, I need to have my Discord like open and not with anything over the top of it, because you kept freezing when I had my Streamlabs over it.
Really? I keep mine.
Weird, right?
I typically keep mine just because when I'm looking at my camera.
What is that about?
My camera is actually on the monitor that I keep Discord on, so like I can look at my camera and see you at the same time, kind of thing. And then when I'm looking sideways at you, I'm looking at my OBS preview. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. That's interesting
for me today. Yeah.
It's just one of those
all over the place now.
It's gonna be one of those. I was just explaining to Nathan before we got started. I was like, you know what? I readjusted my monitors today, which is my monitor's actually higher up now, so it feels like the angle is a little bit more weird, and like stuff's all over my desk because I was, I took my monitors off my arms and all that kind of stuff, and I was moving things around, and I was like, it just feels like I feel like my office is a disaster right now. I mean, it doesn't. Really...
Mine is a shit show right now. I don't know.
Well,
I did just open up a bunch of stuff. So there's hot sauces everywhere, but
no, I'm sure. Well, I can't see that on camera, so that's okay. You're good. You're good.
Yeah,
and they can't hear
your angle.
They can't hear that on mics, so that's okay too.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But,
oh man.
Other than that, how'd your week go, man? How is it? How is the Game Hopper doing? Oh, we got a visitor. Do you have a visitor at your door?
No, why?
I thought I heard a visitor.
The
yipping.
Dog's always.
I thought I heard a visitor yipping back there, man.
It never stops, man. It never stops. All right. How is the Game Hopper doing? Just in life in general? I mean,
in general, just how's the week going?
Good. Give myself like an 85 HP out of 100 life.
85 out of 100.
Yeah. No, I mean it's been nice having football back. It's been fun to watch. It feels a lot more like a regular season, I guess, because last year with COVID and everything, it was, I don't know. All the sports last year to me just felt off. I didn't enjoy watching them with the crowds, like, not really there, especially the empty stadiums in baseball. So it's nice to see fans in the stadium cheering and getting back to watch our teams that we've missed for a bit here. So that's been nice.
So I have to ask, did you enjoy more to see the virtual stands or the empty stands?
Neither of those did it for me.
Yeah, like the virtual, to me, I would rather see an empty stadium than those virtual stands. Those virtual stands to me were so gimmicky. Like I was like, this doesn't make sense because the players can't see these anyways, right? The players can't see or hear this. This is just for the people watching on TV. And it doesn't even, at that point, because didn't you have to pay money? Didn't you have to pay money to get the seat to show on TV? Or so, there was some kind of like thing.
There was things you could pay to get your face on or like the cutouts they would do too. You could pay to get your cutout at the Super Bowl, whatever the nonsense was. But no, like some of the stadiums did pump in crowd noise for players.
Fake, yeah.
Which for me was just like, how does your brain handle like a roaring crowd, but you look out and there's no faces looking at you?
Yeah, exactly.
I just feel
Exactly.
like it doesn't
That
hit the
doesn't
same
make
way,
any
you know?
sense at all. Could you imagine like being the home team and like or like for the
Yeah,
NBA being the home team and you'd hear like those like smacker things when like the away team was shooting free throws or
right,
something,
yeah.
like
The
the
Thunder sticks.
noisemakers. Yeah, the noisemakers or whatever, and like looking up and there's nobody in the stands. Like, more mentally
Yeah.
annoying to me that would be.
Oh, man.
Be like the
Yeah, imagine
voices
the
are in my
bas
head
yeah,
everywhere.
yeah. The basketball games, you're probably so aware of the sneakers squeaking on the floor. That's just all you hear during the basketball game. There's no crowd, just
That's all.
like,
Yeah, yeah.
oh, man.
But yeah, it is nice. It is nice to have sports
So
back.
we're back to
That's
more normal stuff, so yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
happy
nice to have
about that,
sports
and
back. It's one of those things like I've never been a really big football fanatic, right? I mean, I've
mhm,
watched football
yeah,
here and there. I've claimed to be a Buccaneers fan for, 20 years or something like that, but
yeah,
I've never really like followed sports, not sports, but I've never really followed football
yeah.
until my son became a Chiefs fan, right? And
Nice.
so we've been watching football for a couple of years now, and you're right. It's like this year. It's like now that it's always like once it's here, it's like, oh cool, this is something that we get to do on Sundays, right? Like we get to
Yeah,
plan, be
for
like, hey,
sure,
we're gonna
yeah.
go around at the store, we're gonna buy snacks, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna sit around and watch the football games or something like that. So
Yeah, it's a nice little
it's
event.
it yeah, it's nice to tie that in and add that to your schedule that you can just kind of plan and have some, like you talk about normalcy around. So it's pretty
Oh,
cool.
it's so good, so good. Can't get enough of it.
Can't get enough of what? Normalcy?
Normalcy, yeah,
Yeah.
man, yeah.
Yeah, I hate the fact that
As
we have
much
to
as I
keep
can get my hands on.
I hate the fact that we have to keep saying that like the new normal or this is we're getting back to normalcy, like it should just be
Yeah,
life in general is just continuing, but you have to
no,
think of
yeah.
it that way, right? I mean,
We'll be using
it's
that for a while, I'm sure. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well. What about you? How's Qualazar or how's the Mike guy? Are they both doing the
Um
same?
Are they both what? Are they both the same? I mean, my
Yeah, they're
tag
both
at the
the
bottom of
same?
the window says Q, so that's what we're sticking with, man. We're doing good. We're doing good. I mean,
Uh,
last week was a lot of fun. I mentioned when we had the podcast last week that it's just been an interesting recovery after taking that week off and
mhm,
not streaming for a week. It's been a nice like come back and just hang out and like reevaluate how and why you stream and just taking a little bit of time to identify like this is what I want to do. I don't care anymore, right? Like
yeah,
there was a point or there was times or there was, situations where I was deciding I was like, "Oh, I'm going to play this game cuz somebody asked me to." And then I'll try to play it and I'm like, "I am miserable playing this game. Like I don't like this at all. What the
yeah,
heck am I doing?" And then, so I was like, yeah, let's just reevaluate this. And let's say if I don't like it, I'll turn it off midstream. I don't care anymore. Right. Like
yeah.
I'm
No, yeah.
I'm gonna do what I want to do. And if I don't like it, what I try to play on Monday, I tried to play Gas Station Simulator on Monday, and that was not a
Yeah, I
hit.
remember you were trying that out.
That
Yeah.
was not a hit. It wasn't. I mean, it was okay. It was okay.
Yeah.
It's one of those weird games that I think that like it's fun for the first 4 hours, maybe 4
Okay.
hours, maybe if you're stretching it hard. It's fun for the first 4 hours, and then it's like you're just repeating the same thing over and over and over and over again for the next 30 hours.
Some people love that though, because isn't it still blowing up on Twitch a little bit?
Maybe, I don't know. I know it's
I
still
think
it's
so.
still listed as like a top 20 popular game on Steam, so I don't know if
Yeah.
it's still blowing up on Twitch, but it's I don't know.
Let me see.
I just can't see it. I even tried like I was like, "Oh, I enjoy building simulators," right? Like I enjoy the Sims
Yeah.
for the building aspect. I enjoyed Dragon Quest Builders for the building aspect. I enjoyed, all these other No Man's Sky for a lot of the building aspect. I was like,
Yeah.
okay. So
Yeah.
I even tried House Flippers and I was like, God, this is the same thing. It's like you go, you do it, you break down a wall, you paint a room,
Yeah.
you leave the house, you go to another house, you break down a wall, you paint a room. I was like, this is not, there's no drive.
Task oriented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, I can
Gas
get
station's 12.2 thousand people watching right now.
12.2 thousand people watching Gas Station Simulator. Yeah.
It's
Maybe
up there. Top 30 probably on
top
the list. There's a
30.
lot of
Yeah.
games going on, but I mean, I think for a lot of people, like even for me, like I'm guilty of watching a couple YouTube videos here and there of people playing those simulator style games, be it Farming Sim way back when that was all the rage in the beginning, or Power Washer was one of the ones recently. There's like I don't know, just a soothingness to like seeing some of the stuff get done. Like, when they're got this giant patch of grass and they're going through, laying seeds, getting the crops in, mowing them down, and it's just like watching it happen all smoothly just feels good. But yeah, if you're just sitting there and doing it, you don't watch it over and over and over and over again. I can do it one time, and then move on to something else. But there's
even
a therapeutic value a little bit.
even 20 times, right? Even 20 times, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. But then after that, I'm like, I was like, can I hire a robot to do this or something? Like at some
Right? Yeah. I mean,
level,
build an automated system
that,
to.
and I think I think to me that's what's missing from a lot of building simulators or types of games like that. Like I enjoy it.
Mhm.
Even if you were to come into the concept of like a year's worth of in-game time, right? Like farming simulator,
Yeah.
like for an entire season, it's my turn
Yeah.
to plant the crops, right? It's my turn to plant the crops, and then like next season, I want to hire a farmhand
Yeah.
to plant the
Right.
crops.
Yeah.
Then the season after that, I want to make a factory that does it, right? And then you kind of upgrade your
Yeah.
farm to where you're not doing as much of the day-to-day stuff, but you turn more into like managerial. I'm like, oh man, that would be right up my alley. I want that white collar simulator game. That's what I
Yeah,
want.
right.
I
You
want
want to go from farmhand to massive,
CEO
CEO
simulator.
of
Yeah,
some
CEO simulator.
veggie
That's my new
company, yeah.
game. That's my new game that
Yeah.
I'm gonna,
Hey,
we're
no,
gonna
yeah.
make one of those.
And I mean, it's all those games. Yeah, it hits a point where the variation in content stops. Which again, I think part of that is on us, where we get these unreal expectations that we just want to be able to play games forever. We want there to always keep being new things. And really, outside of a multiplayer game where the experience comes from playing against different people who are going to approach different situations differently every time, the AI, they can't, it's just not good enough to do so for us.
Right. Right. I think the one game I haven't tried yet and I've heard good things about is Satisfactory.
Mm,
I've heard really good things about
a
that
lot of
one.
automation in that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, like, yeah. So that's one that I've heard really good things about that I've seen some people play. But every time I see somebody play it, it's so
Yeah.
far in.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I don't understand what's going on exactly. So I'm like, where's the like?
Yeah.
I need to either watch some YouTube content of like the very early content, and then kind of like see how I would think that works, or I just got to figure that one out yet because it's one of those like I don't want to start at the beginning and be so bored, or it takes so long to get to end game, right?
Yeah.
That you don't really get to see the value in it or anything. But
And that's the balance with all those games, though, is like, how long can we get somebody to chop wood, before they get to the point where they can upgrade to the next level and they don't
yeah,
need to chop wood anymore or whatever? Because
yep,
it's brutal sometimes. Some of those games, it takes way too long and way too many resources. Some it's too fast, you get past it. So it's finding that middle ground is really hard, especially when the games will work different ways that you got to get to the
yep,
right level at the
yep.
right speed. So.
So, jumping into, I guess, major topics for the week, right?
Yes.
The biggest thing. So there's not a whole lot. There's not a whole lot right now that I've seen regarding like big news changes outside of the Dr. Lupo, Tim the Tapman, which, by the way, I think Tim is absolutely crushing content, and we can kind of digest or digress a little bit more on what's going on with him in our second part tonight.
Sure.
But I want to start out like Twitch really hasn't made any. I want to say I want to say recovery plans, but I don't think that's the right term. They haven't made any big marketing moves, any big announcements, anything from Tim and Lupo leaving, right? Like there's been no encouragement, no strong-willed things like, hey, the better future is coming. Hey, these guys left because you get to a point. Here's the I guess the thought process I'm going off of. You get to a point that as even as a mid-tier creator on Twitch, right? You see Tim and Lupo leave, and you're like, that's where I want to get. Why did they leave? And should I already be on that path so I get to where they're going faster? Like, do they have a better plan, or was it just a sellout move? Right?
Yeah.
And that's where the decision's going to be. Is there a ceiling to Twitch, and should I jump ship when I hit the ceiling, or as I'm growing, and then the kind of that I guess that question. Is there a ceiling? When should I make a decision on if I've hit the ceiling or not?
I mean, there's a lot of ways to approach that. I think, firstly, I mean, setting your sights at like a Lupo level is probably a lot more appropriate than a Tim. You know, Lupo averages maybe what 5, 6, 10 thou on a good day, where Tim's can be 50 and upward. That's top 0.01%. I feel like as far as broadcasters go. So I mean, sure, it can happen, but I think that's just as much a little bit of luck sprinkled with the streamer's talent as well. Um, and I don't know, man. When we've talked about the Twitch versus YouTube thing, the fact that YouTube is so lacking on the connection for small content creators with their communities, I feel like if you make the jump, in my mind, currently as it is, it needs to be when you're at a point where you're not interacting with people in chat on a person to person level.
Okay. So that was gonna be where I was gonna go. Like, are you for
Okay. Jumping ahead?
Huh?
I said I'm jumping ahead on you, huh?
Well, I mean, kind of. I was gonna lead into it and say, but that's exactly where I was going as a brand new streamer. Because I've actually heard very contradictory statements on this. As a brand new streamer today, if you were to just be getting started, where would you recommend somebody go stream? Like, just right out the gate, as somebody who's been around the community, I'm gonna say, around the culture of live streaming for almost 2 years now. I mean, you've been around the culture longer than that, but somebody who's personally has been involved in live streaming for almost a little over 2 years now,
hasn't it?
Then where would you recommend somebody start today?
I mean, the first advice I'm gonna say, obviously, before I direct anybody, is don't set your bar so high in the beginning. It's gonna be a slow process wherever you are. Sometimes it might not be, and again, that's lightning strikes. It happens, but I don't know. I would definitely point towards Twitch just because of the viewer base. If you're trying to get as many eyes on as possible, you want to go where there's more eyes. And I guess too, their content's going to matter a lot. What kind of niche category they might be in, or excuse me.
I have to say, I'm gonna sound like I'm coming in from left field here. But I'm gonna say I think the starting platform for streamers today, if you were coming from nothing, you had no community, you had no social media presence, right? Yeah. I think your starting platform should be Facebook.
Facebook gaming.
I do. I think Facebook gaming. I think your first platform should be Facebook gaming. I think as much as I don't want to like Facebook gaming, and as much as I refuse to go there myself, I still have a hard time not recommending it because of the way Facebook manages viewer engagement, and because of the way Facebook will intentionally, like a weird metric on Facebook, and I was looking at this the other day, they will intentionally feed you users for whatever reason they feel like. If for some reason that the Facebook algorithm feels that you're having a hyped moment, it will literally just inject viewers into your content. Like, it will let people that are like, it'll set you up on a platform to where as people are scrolling, viewers will see you much more actively as they're clicking around on things. They'll do like random views, things like that, and your page will just be basically exploding everywhere if it feels like there's a good click-through rate on your channel, right? Doesn't matter the size of your channel at all. Facebook doesn't care nearly as much about the size of the channel. I mean, they do, but I don't think it's as impactful as it is on Twitch, right? And they will feed viewers to anybody they feel like is doing something that has a holding moment, even if it's a short moment, to keep people on the platform.
Does that operate something like, what was it, like the hype feature that was on Mixer for a while?
Yes, where they had the hype mode or whatever it was, where you could they literally had and almost like on Twitch right now, where they have I mean, not as much as Twitch, because Twitch has, if you're in the middle of a hype train, right, there's an opportunity you'll show up on the front page, right? It doesn't matter the size of your channel, you get like 30 seconds or something to show up on the front page. But it is sort of like Mixer used to have that one channel that was hype moments, and it would literally jump from channel to channel to channel, and people had the opportunity to stay on the channel if they thought they enjoyed it, right? Or you could just ride the wave to the next one. And it's a really cool idea. Like, Facebook has that ability to inject viewers to you. So I think the opportunity, like we talk about the exposure rates, right? Like, as a content creator who has no following, exposure rate is your most important thing, right? Eyes on, getting people to see what you're doing, providing a way to connect with your content. That's the most important thing. And by having more viewers coming in, it's the best opportunity to do that. I think Facebook does a really good job. Now, you have to capitalize on that, right? Like, you have to make it enjoyable, you have to make it engaging, you have to keep their eyes on, right? You have to make it work, but at the same time, you have that ability just to at least get it. Because like we talked about on Twitch, you could literally stream Warzone for 24 hours straight and never have a new viewer come into your channel. Like, what'd we say? The average viewer count for a Warzone channel is like 5 or something, because there's so many channels with 0. The average viewer count is so low. The number of viewers per channel, it's like one of the lowest per categories, and it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. No, and again, it's people see it being popular and they think, that's their in. And it's, I don't know. Again, people get led astray a lot with what they should be streaming, depending on what their end goal is. If they're just doing it just to have fun as a hobby, again, stream whatever the heck you want. Turn off the viewer count. None of that matters. You stream to 0 people just like you would to 10,000. It makes no difference.
So do you? I want to say that I enjoy that concept, but I think we've talked about this in the past. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of that statement personally, right? Like,
which one?
The one where just stream to have fun if that's what you want to do, because I don't like that statement anymore, and here's why. And I've been thinking about it. Like, I love the idea behind it, right? Like, stream to enjoy what you're doing. If you want to make it a hobby, just have fun, but go somewhere else and do it. Because somebody who could be trying, and somebody who could be engaging, and somebody who's really trying to grow, who may have a 5-viewer stream, that now you've got 1 or 2 viewers, those 1 or 2 viewers could step up to another channel. And if you took all those 1 or 2 viewer streams that were just hanging out with their buddies streaming on Twitch and got rid of them, you could eliminate I don't want to say a huge number of channels, but you could probably get a substantial enough number of channels just to deactivate. And one, it opens up financial opportunities for Twitch, right? It opens up the ability for Twitch to, save a little revenue in the long run. 2, it frees up viewers that you're taking, right? And we've had that discussion. You're not really taking viewers, blah, 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 whatever, right? But like, you are. I mean, in theory, right? You have a viewer that you don't care about, while somebody else is looking for viewers and they need them in order to, because there's nothing worse than being a streamer and having 1 viewer, and that 1 viewer is you, or that 1 viewer is lurking, right? Like, again, we love our lurkers, but the worst thing is when you have 4 or 5 viewers and somebody pops in your channel and nobody is chatting, because then you're just like, it as the viewer, you're like, why aren't these other people talking? What's going on? Is he just not responding? What's happening here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always weirded out by channels with like 100+ people and there's only 1 person talking. Like, I don't wrap my head around that. Again, I mean, I'll believe, sure, 99 people are lurking. I'll accept that. But if people are just actively just sitting, watching, and not saying anything, that's kind of strange to me. But I mean, that's a bold statement, because you're basically saying, like, get the casuals out of here.
Get off my platform.
There should be a platform for people who want to take this seriously, and and I'll say, and make money out of it, and help Twitch make money too. And you're right. If they got rid of all the channels that streamed to 2 or less people, that would be a lot more, data bandwidth and things like that frees up. Maybe they could offer transcoding to everybody. Things like that.
You'd be able to. I mean, I couldn't imagine. I can't imagine the number of hours streamed. Here would be the question. I can't imagine the number of hours streamed. I wonder if I can figure out these numbers. I need to take a note. The number of hours streamed to 3 viewers or less. Right? I mean,
what that total number is.
I'm gonna be
Yeah,
upfront with you. I'm gonna be upfront with you right now. Hey, I'm here.
yeah,
I'm streaming to 2 viewers right now. Who cares?
yeah,
Right? Like, I mean, I could be that guy, and I could just be recording this and putting it on YouTube, which is what I'm gonna do anyways. Right?
yeah.
I'm just being real with myself.
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah,
putting myself on the block here, right?
yeah,
The concept being that you're just taking up bandwidth, you're taking up opportunities for other channels to, like you're saying, get transcoding. Twitch could save money. Maybe they could build additional features that people are asking for because they're not spending revenue on server space for other things, right? Like there's a whole bunch of
yeah.
features out here or there's a whole bunch of costs that we've talked about in the past that I just don't know how much we could save Twitch if the casuals kind of took off and I don't want to say don't stream. Like have fun with your buddies, but we've said take it to
Yeah.
Discord or find somewhere to go that you can sit and hang out and chat with your buddies because that's what you want to do. Like I mean, we
Yeah.
do a lot of off stream streaming in
For
Discord.
sure. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of where we hang out when we don't want to be necessarily on camera, but we want to be chatting and we want to have our gameplay viewed and stuff like that, right? Like, I mean, it's a hangout session at
Yeah.
that point. It's much more casual, but if that's what you're looking for, that's where you should be. Like, do people go
Yeah.
to Twitch because of the simplicity of clicking it?
Yeah, it takes the little effort, and I mean, this is one of those scenarios where I feel like I would still love to see a middle tier between affiliate and partner. Um, and I'll say it. I think what we get offered as affiliates for what we actually have to do to hit that mark, it's crazy what we get in return. The ability to make the type of revenue. Not that it's necessarily a lot in the beginning, but it can be. And all you need to do to get to that point is have 3 average viewers over a week
Yeah, you have
and
no,
50
I mean,
followers.
realistically, you have no plateau as affiliate, right? Like, you could be an
Yeah,
affiliate and make well
yeah,
more than a partner does, right? Like, realistically.
yeah, yeah. And obviously, I think it's set as low as it is because the amount of channels and stuff that are out there, so Twitch can get their piece of the pie to keep running. Because again, if so many of these channels had to hit 20 before they could start making any type of money or have subscribers or things like that, that's a lot of little pieces here and there that Twitch is missing out on, and they're just paying bleeding money to all these channels that are using their platform and their data with no return to them. They say, I mean, I would still love to see that level that those of us who want to take it seriously have something to strive for to help us separate from the casuals who are just kind of here, just because they want to play games and put it on the internet.
So it becomes hard though, because I feel like separating the casuals from the hardcores or the dedicated or whatever you want to call them, right?
Yeah,
Like the sweats. Usually you say the casual and the sweats, right?
yeah.
So
I'll be the sweats here.
so it's hard to separate that though, because you're not really. I get the logic and I get the intention, but I don't feel like we're really building anything helpful there because the casuals are still eating up that revenue cost or that expense. They're still taking up that expense that Twitch needs in order to build new features, right? I feel like I would almost come to the point to where we've talked about this in the past, to where it's a $20 a month fee, right?
Yeah.
$20 a month to stream on Twitch, right? And then you have an opportunity to make revenue, and then if you start making revenue, that $20 comes out of your revenue budget every month or whatever it might be, right? Like, have the ability to have Twitch offset some of its expense, because when you're talking about 1 million channels that are streaming to 0 people, that's
Yeah.
I'm just throwing a rough number out there, $20 million a month, right? $20 million a month that they're just crapping. Like, it's just, and they're not getting anything on it. They're not getting anything back for it, right? They're not even getting they're not even getting one viewer back for it, right? So even if they ran advertisement, it wouldn't matter because
Yeah.
nobody's looking.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. They would need to somehow discourage people from streaming. Like, I mean, yeah, I mean, like you said, the flat fee to use their service. I think that's probably the easiest way to just jump right into it, to help even the numbers out in a sense of having less channels exist that are just streaming to 1 or 0. I'd be curious to know like some of the really interesting things, like how many people have been out there streaming to zero for thousands and thousands of hours. Um, so I mean, I remember reading an article at some point, or it might have been a post on the r/Twitch where there was a guy that had been streaming for like 10 years and averaged 3 people or something like that the whole time. Like never had any type of big growth
Never had
from
a
the
break.
get
Yeah, never
go.
had a breakthrough or anything.
Yeah.
Never had a jump. And
Um.
and I think that
uh,
story exists. I'm just keying in.
yeah.
I think that story exists
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
more often. I know several people who, at certain points, they've been streaming much longer than I have been, and at certain
Yeah.
points I've seen them grow to, maybe 10, but it doesn't sustain. Like they'll go to 10 for like one game that they're playing for a month that they get some traction on or something, and then it just goes
Yeah.
back, just tapers
Yeah.
back down to 3, or you're right. They kind of hang around that. I really think it's funny that like 3 to 5 is like the most average set of like viewer
Yeah.
base for smaller channels.
Yeah. And I would love to see, again, not that this solves any problems though. If Twitch did check in monthly for those affiliates and said, "Oh, you haven't hit your 3 mark, for 4 straight weeks. We're going to remove your affiliate now because maybe that would discourage the person from continue streaming. I don't know. Maybe in that sense it would help a little bit, but they definitely need to add more things, add more layers, like you said, to again, keep the casuals out. Get them
It,
out. Get them
it's
out too.
it's it's
Come
it's a
up with the
tough
idea.
it's a tough thing to sell, and I'm not trying to
Oh
say
no, yeah,
anybody.
for sure.
I'm not trying to say anybody shouldn't try streaming. I'm not saying anybody shouldn't try, to do it.
Yeah.
But to some extent, right, when you have people on their Xboxes and their PS5s, and they're just literally flicking a switch, right, or
Yep.
ticking a checkbox, and just saying that they're kind of having this one thing that they want, right, because it's a feature on their console. Right, I understand on PC it's substantially more difficult. It can be a more difficult process to set up and stream, but especially with the popularity of streaming from directly from consoles now, I mean it's simple and you can just do it, and it has just boosted the amount of machines that are accessing or connecting to Twitch just to do it, right? And Twitch hasn't been able to recover. It totally made sense when Twitch was hand over fist having channels that were generating substantial amounts of revenue, and they didn't have a ton of channels that weren't generating any, right? Like if you're taking a loss, if you've got 100,000 channels, I'm throwing out random numbers, right? If you got 100,000 channels that are generating positive revenue, and you have 1,000 that aren't, then you can be okay. But if you have 100,000 channels that are generating revenue and you have 1 million that aren't, you're not going to be okay. You're not going to make it. No matter how much money those 100,000 channels make, you're not going to make it.
And there's 6 million plus that stream.
6 million right now.
Something like that.
There's probably 6 million unique channels. Yeah, active unique channels or something. That's probably very right.
And and the numbers we've heard with how many people get to the first payout and stuff like that, which again, it's shocking. And stuff like that is when, people focus on the wrong part of those numbers. They don't look at like, oh, there's that many people not bringing any money to Twitch and Twitch is paying for them to use their services. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you fix that.
What's the answer? And again,
you push people away if you get it too weird,
Yeah,
and then people will go somewhere else.
But and that's kind of the downside. I think Twitch set I'm going to be honest. I think Twitch set a nasty standard in the beginning by making it completely free, right? Like it was something they had to do in order to get people to connect to it, right? Because in the beginning, a lot of people didn't have the bandwidth to have high end. You didn't have the PCs, you didn't have the bandwidth, you didn't have 3, 4, 5 years ago, right? Like people were still on 10 megabit connections, down speeds, 1 megabit up, right? Like the availability of connectivity was completely different than it is today. The availability of PCs was completely different than it is today. So you were having very dedicated individuals that were building dedicated machines to do this versus, people just flicking a switch, right? So you already had the sweats, if that's the phrase we're using, you already had the sweats there to do it, right? To be a part of it, right? So it was different than it is today. The culture was different. The people were different. The availability was different. I think it's the same concept when you go from when you look at the growth of Call of Duty over the years, right? With Call of Duty 1, Call of Duty 2, Modern Warfare 1, Modern Warfare 2, right? It was a very, I don't want to say a super sweaty game, but it was a much smaller market of people playing those games versus today where everybody plays it. The funniest thing, and I always tell this story about in college.
Sure.
I set up a Halo LAN party in college, right? And it was like one of these things, like it was all the nerds. All the nerds came to play the Halo LAN party, right? You didn't
use that word.
You didn't see a single football player, you didn't see a single wrestler, you didn't see a single soccer guy. The jocks did not come to the Halo LAN party. That was not the cool thing to do. If you hosted a Halo event at a campus today, you better believe 99% of your college campus probably shows up to a Halo event, right? Like it's just the concept of the sweaty people versus everybody has completely changed, and that's completely changed the streaming industry, the streaming market. And while it's great to see the big numbers, you have to get to the bottom line of where's your money going?
Yeah. No, it is funny how like it did start out like, you were a nerd if you were a gamer, which, I was happy to ride that train in the beginning, but now, it's, we made gaming cool somehow. Somehow we pushed through, persevered. And now, everybody loves to own up to it. I mean, again, the nerd thing too. It's, people want to be a nerd more than not be a nerd these days. But it's, I think like what you were saying with Twitch being the first one here, they had to kind of make themselves very flexible to bring in the people, and now they're stuck. They're stuck with a lot of things. So you would probably need another platform to come along to really offer like a premium type of streaming platform where, maybe they vet you before you even are allowed to use their service. They check all your other social media platforms and see like, you need meet this criteria, have this type of following before they even let you be one of their streamers. But being part of their group, you get marketed and advertising and all that kind of stuff. And it's something that, you're a lot more proud to be a part of, and you earned your way to be there.
Yeah, it's more of like an elite streamer. I mean, it's almost like a stream team, but it's an entire platform in itself. Like it would be like a stream team building its own platform, right? And then just recruiting people to come and stream on their platform. That's a really interesting concept. I would even think today that even
if Twitch, if you do that, man, I want my piece.
Yeah,
just throwing it out there.
Even today, or now Tim with his what group did Tim Complexity. He's like part owner of Complexity. I'm like, he didn't just join. He went and bought them out. He was like, I'm taking that YouTube money and I'm gonna go buy something right now. Yeah. But even if Twitch came out today and turned around and said like we're talking some premium package, right? They have Twitch Turbo, they have Twitch Prime. Give me Twitch Premium and let me pay $20 a month to get dedicated transcoding, to get a bump up in the listing, to get right. Like,
can you imagine? I would pay good money to just like be a featured streamer. You're just front row for whatever game you're playing.
Something like that. I mean,
a lot of people would throw money at that.
Yeah, throw money at that. Like have an advertised slot, or just a way to like kind of have a category for premium channels or something like that, right? Where not a category, but a sort, to where if you sorted by whatever, it would show you like partner channels, premium channels, everybody else, right? Or something like that, right? Like have an opportunity to somehow pay to play on Twitch, right? Like, and again, your sweats are going to do that. The people who are willing to invest in their future are the people who are going to succeed. We've talked about that in so many other ways on this 100%. Podcast. We've talked about investing in yourself. We've talked about investing in your content. We've talked about investing in your gear. Why not invest in your channel? Give us the opportunity to do that. Give me dedicated transcoding. Give me a better bit rate. Give me, less advertising. Like Twitch, I'll pay you $25 a month if you give me less advertisements on my channel, right? Yeah. Give me
and they're not making that much from it to begin with,
So from our channels, usually not, right?
Yeah.
Like, give me that opportunity to be able to do that and see what happens. Like, throw it out there as a pilot program and see what happens, guys. Like you're at the point where we talked like a month ago, 2 months ago, Twitch is bleeding, right? They're losing money nonstop. They need a recovery plan. They need to triage, and they need to find a way to have an influx of cash. And where are they going to get it? These are features that they could implement easily, and they could see if they work. If it doesn't work, cut it out in 3 months. Cut it out in 6 months.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever happens, just, but it's something simple to do, I think.
Yeah, no, and as much as there is a lot of the unpopular opinions about monetizing things as far as even advertising and whatnot on Twitch, um, the majority of the ones who want to be here and want to be successful on Twitch want to see Twitch be successful too. And like you said, I think if you incorporate any type of advertising that you can pay for as a streamer to get your content to more people are going to be all over that. There'll be a lot of people who moan and complain about it and say, "Oh no, Twitch is just trying to get in our pockets." But the ones who want to take it seriously are going to be super happy about it, and they'll see a lot of benefits from it too.
Yeah.
Even little things like I'd pay an extra $10 a month for another 20 emote slots, like little stuff like that. They could really just.
There you go.
I mean, it'd be silly after a while if you're sitting here and you have 80 different options to check, on your Twitch profile that you could pay for. But those of us, again, who want to see this platform succeed are going to be willing to invest in our time on here to make it happen.
Sure. That's exactly right. And I think that's a really good place to start. I think that's a great idea in how you could make that happen, right? I mean,
yeah.
I'm 99% positive that nobody from Twitch staff watches this podcast, but just in that 1% that there happens to be somebody that watches this episode, please guys, take this into serious consideration. Yeah, please take this into serious consideration. I am very, very adamant, and we have said this in the past. We want this platform to succeed. I actually like being here. I like the community. I like the people. I like the viewer engagement, but you guys are in trouble. The other platforms, right? Facebook is not stupid. Mark is not stupid, right? I don't even know who the CEO of Google is, CEO of YouTube is right now, but these people are not dumb, right? They know what they're doing, and if they wanted to battle you, which they're starting to, you're going to lose if you don't get innovative. You need to find a way to help boost your creator happiness. Or your creator, I don't even know what the word I'm looking for there is. Morale. Just creator morale. Yeah, there you go. I think that sums up. I was looking for something way bigger, but I was like, I don't think that's really the right morale works just fine.
It's more often than not, people are complaining about things left and right. There's nobody writing good articles about the good things Twitch is doing. You gotta flip the narrative, and the way to do that best is to do something for those people, again, who want to see the platform succeed because it means success for them. So get in your creator's corner. Make things happen that we would like to see and that we would utilize, and that, again, would help make you money. You're welcome. We're here. Oh.
A
broken record, I feel like, man.
It feels like it sometimes. Like I feel like, I mean, honestly, when we were doing hot tub topics every week, I felt like we were a scratched CD disc that just kept jumping back to the same track. But even in this instance, I feel like we've brought this up more than once, and it's just that important of a topic that you need to keep saying things about it, because you have to get engagement out of it. You have to get understanding. You have to get people to listen. And if enough people start talking about it, then you can finally maybe get some attention and finally get some value out of it, right? It's a major thing that I feel like I don't know if and you know what? Maybe Twitch has looked at it. Maybe Twitch has done the math and they've said, there wasn't enough people to buy in, or it would take $50 a month to make it valuable to us, or whatever it is, right? Like that's fine, right? But just have some open heart discussions with your creators in general on a bigger level, right? Like the only time I've ever heard Twitch come out and actually try to engage streamers of the community, like at our level, is when DJ Wheat went on, and he just got DJ Wheat. And he just got absolutely berated with everything he was saying, right? And it was ridiculous, right? Like he was not the
Yeah,
person.
that didn't go well.
It didn't go well. He was not the person to be doing that, right? Like in that type of environment, in that type of situation, he was not the best person to make that statement. But they do.
Yeah.
They need like, when's the last time Twitch has had like a major announcement? Like from the CEO, like a big video where the CEO stood up on stage and like made a big announcement about features coming to Twitch or anything. You know what I mean? Like anything from the Twitch leadership staff, right? That's been like, here's what we're doing and here's our plan and here's our roadmap and here's our future, right? It's been little blogs here and there and little posts and it's always an after the fact. Oh, by the way, guys, we changed this month. And I'm like, but nobody asked for that. Who asked for that? Where did you get the engagement to think that was what people were looking for?
Yeah, no, and especially like all these creator surveys where that's another thing that they could take a little bit more time and actually ask a lot of questions to help better their platform, which, I get a lot of it's been gender identities and if you're any person with disabilities and things like that, which I don't really understand why they want or need those numbers. It doesn't matter to me. We're all here creating and consuming content. I don't think the labels pertain in any way, shape, or form. But say like, what would you like to see? Give us a blank box at the end that just additional comments. Even if it doesn't mean you read it, it's just nice to know that you want our opinions and there's the smallest bit of value in it for us.
Yeah, give us that. You know what? That's what they need to do is they need to just have like a short answer. What would you like to fix with Twitch? And put a short answer feature and then run some big data mining on it and pick out your top 50 features that they look for and start building a roadmap to try to get some of those things situated, right? Like, I think that's the way that they really work out and really connect. I've seen the creator survey. I have not taken it yet. Did you take the creator survey on the dashboard?
Yeah. Again, it was just, like I said, it was just like 5 questions about how we identify.
That's what it was? Yeah. Okay, I haven't even filled it out yet because I didn't see like any value in it. I looked at the email about it and I was like, I don't see any major value in this creator survey. I'm not clicking it yet. I'll fill it out eventually. I think regardless, you should validate.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Yeah.
If we're asking for help from Twitch, we need to give them the help when they ask us to provide it, right? So I totally get that I need to fill it out. I just haven't had the opportunity yet.
It won't take long.
So to touch one more thing about Twitch, we're rolling on almost 50 minutes already. God, we
talk a lot.
We talk way too much. Like I didn't even hit. Like I really wanted to focus this. Like I had a thumbnail idea already for this one, and I was like, I was gonna put pros on top of my head, and I was gonna put cons on yours, and I was gonna be like Twitch versus YouTube, right? Pros and cons.
Yeah.
But like it's kind of
we so far wide.
We tapped on that for like half a second, and then Twitch sucks. And not really, guys. Twitch staff. I just said that if you're watching, don't listen to anything. Listen to the previous stuff, not the now stuff.
It would help get like a producer in our ears, like telling us to stay on track and stuff. Like, all right, you guys are done on that. You've talked 40 minutes about it. Move on.
Yeah. That would. Oh man, how amazing would that be if we just had like a camera guy or whatever, just being like,
ideal, dude.
Here's your transition point. I'd be like, oh yes, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
So
another great thing Twitch could do, help people connect, have people submit viewers if they want to be moderators. So you could just have a pool you pick from, like it's a lot of stuff. I could go for days giving Twitch advice on how to better this platform.
Yeah. So I want to, the DMCA thing, right? And we only have about 10 minutes left, but the DMCA thing that they just announced about the
Music Record Association or whatever it was.
NMPA, the National Music something Association. Production? Whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
Dude,
we'll go with it.
I've already seen lots of things that like lots of articles be like, is Twitch finally fixing DMCA? And Twitch makes huge announcement, DMCA no longer an issue, and all this other kind of stuff. And I'm like looking at these articles. I mean, these are from like Dextero, which I'm not a huge fan of Dextero to begin with, but like Gamer Rants and things like that, where they're posting these articles, and I'm like, it's such clickbait. They didn't do anything to DMCA. I mean, realistically speaking.
No, yeah, so what the change that was made, guys, the agreement was it gives Twitch more reach to give warnings They're still going to be removing VODs and mutant VODs and things like that for people who are doing music, but it just allows Twitch themselves to go after the content creators who are using the copyrighted music instead of waiting for the labels to come to them. Um, it's not any reason to play more music if you do it and have multiple in a stream. It's more likely that more serious repercussions are going to happen to you, but it just gives Twitch the ability to come after us as well. Really,
Right.
is what my take on it is.
It's an agreement. It's agreement from the NMPA that says Twitch will take an active stance to try to curb the amount of DMCA that is being played. Thus, when a strike comes from a content owner, right, it's not as punishing. Like, it doesn't go down as a strike. It goes down as like an infraction or something like that, right? Like, it has some level of protection from, but again, in order to come to that agreement, Twitch had to say that they're going to make an active stance to try to, deter people from doing it more, right? So that way it kind of offsets itself.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've been looking at it and I'm like, I don't see this as a win. Like, it might be a win for Twitch in a legal battle. Like, in the big grand scheme of things, with everything going on in the past year, with what's been happening with this whole DMCA issue, Twitch has been just getting railroaded by the NMPA, right? They've just been getting absolutely destroyed every chance they've had. And I think this is a good, like, countermeasure to say, hey, we're coming to an agreeable position now, right? So then Twitch is, instead of being the one that's getting run over all the time, now they're kind of sitting in the passenger seat with the NMPA, right? So they're kind of saying, and then what happens, like, as they become more friendly, if they show good faith and if they continue to stand up for the agreement, maybe they can work better leverage later to say, hey, by the way, what about giving us 50 artists that are in your, that'll be agreeable to let us, play the content, on our streams or on our platform or something like that, right? And we'll give you X amount of royalties for whatever it is, right? Try to come up with some level of agreement, so that way we can make it work.
You're 1,000% headed down the right road there. Where I think Twitch trying to go to the bargaining table right now has, like you said, they have nothing in their corner because, again, there's channels rampantly breaking DMCA, playing music left and right. I know I could go and find probably 50 right now if I clicked through Twitch. You give me an hour, I could probably find 50 channels who are playing copyrighted music. And that's a problem. Why would anybody want to go to a table and make an agreement when they have no control over their platform, it seems like? So I think this does allow Twitch to kind of put a leash on it themselves. And like you said, hopefully, again, the poor channels who are using a lot of the music, Twitch might be coming after you. I would definitely say stop. Now is the time. You might have gotten away with it for a long time, but I'd pump the brakes because Twitch has the power now to do something. They want to, if we want to be able to get to a point where we might be able to use music someday.
I'm also still waiting for something like some creator. Here's so there was a trending thing, and I'm going to carry over on this a little bit. We might go a little bit longer. There was a running thing on Twitter. Would you take $100 million or an opportunity? Here I'll just ask. Would you take $100 million or an opportunity to sit down and pitch an idea to Jay-Z? Apparently, this was a running thing on Twitter, and I told myself,
easy.
I would take the opportunity to sit down with Jay-Z. I really would. Because I feel like this issue right here alone is enough to earn you more than that. Over time, I think if you had somebody that had enough power, like Jay-Z, right, who owns enough media and owns enough record labels and all that kind of stuff, right? If you had an opportunity to go to him and get him to work in an agreement to allow that stuff to not be DMCA, right, and allow it to be on a specific platform, he could make hand over fist money. I mean, think of what Harris has done with no name songs, no name channels, no name, right? Like he basically created his entire own brand and set it up to be a $100,000 a month channel, right? And $100,000 a month content generation, right? Just from plays on Spotify and stuff like that, right? How could you not tell me that if Jay-Z went and did all the labels under him and made his own like media streaming platform? Didn't he do that at one time with Beyonce or something? Him and Beyonce made their own.
I'll be honest, I don't track too much on.
I think him and Beyonce made their own streaming platform, and it was like the only place that you could stream Beyonce's songs for a while or something like that. But if you did something like that and you made it a premium, you pay $5 a month to be on the platform, just like you do for Spotify, right? You pay $5 a month to be on the platform, but you can stream it. You can play it while streaming it. Oh my God, I bet everybody would buy it. Everybody would buy it, hands down. Right? You sign a couple of rock artists to do it. You get some agreements and you buy out some contracts and you do some different things. Yeah, it's going to take a lot of money up front, which you need from somebody like him, right? You need, and that's what you need. You need somebody in the industry that's got the financing to break this mold, and that just has an idea that you need to pitch it to them. You need to pitch it to somebody who's got the money that they're going to make money off of it, right? I think right now the biggest issue is that none of these artists have enough strength or like liquid cash, right? Because you got to think it's got to be liquid, because if they're going to go up to their producer or their record label or their whoever owns the copyrights, right? Like whatever that is, the NMPA, right? If they're going to go up to these people and they're going to say, hey, I want to buy out my songs, right? They got to have the liquid to do that, right? And most of these guys don't. Most of these bands, they don't have that amount of cash.
And a lot of them don't own their stuff,
Right, exactly. So, you have to have somebody who really does, somebody who's got enough net worth to be able to do that and just run with it. I think if you could do it, I mean, you could look at possibly Usher, right? Would be one of those. I know he owns a lot of labels, he owns a lot of media. Who's he? T-Pain. T-Pain would be one, right? I know T-Pain does a lot of his own stuff and he makes a lot of his own content on Twitch. Right, but if he did that and started like licensing artists to Logic, like if he started doing more of that, right? I could foresee it making so much money, and then you've got added in.
Yeah, I mean, firstly, $100 million. I don't need more than that. That's my main reason. Like, I'm just getting greedy if I'm trying. Oh no, I could maybe make $1 billion. It's $100 million. I can live the rest of my life doing whatever the heck I want. I'm walking away, done. I see what you're saying, but it's a tough sell when the idea, if you put it plainly, when you say, hey, let's set up a deal where, 1 million people can pay you this money for views for your song. So you're getting, 1 million people are playing your music, but it's going to be 500 million people listening to it, when it's like, if the other people have to pay to listen to it, then that's a lot more money they make out of it. When it's a fraction, again, like a guy like Tim, if he was listening to big music all the time, he's one person playing the song. So that's one play and there's 50,000 people listening to it.
But I don't think you have enough of the big people that matter. I mean, you do, but I don't think you have enough big people that it matters that much, right? Like where you're losing, like where that logic comes into play is, again, the 10 viewer channels, the 20 viewer channels, right? You don't hear Tim playing music on his stream.
Oh yeah, no.
I mean, granted, he knows better, right? But that's part of the point, right? Like
he knows because they come after him because they're going to see it.
If he could, though, would he? I don't know. It's not part of his content, right? At that point, right? Like he doesn't really have it as at that point he could pay for a license to stream whatever he wants. If Tim really wanted music on a stream, he could pay for that license, hands down, right? Like he could pay for.
He could just talk to one of these famous people and be happy with it. Like they'd be like, sure, yeah, whatever, play my music, I don't care. Anybody who owns their stuff usually. Especially if they're any type of Twitch fans or gamer fans and stuff in general, it's celebrities like to help other celebrities.
Yeah, I mean, I just think like I would love to see that happen. I would love to see somebody really just step up and there's going to be money in it for them, right? Like it's not to be charitable. I'm not asking anybody to go out there and just give it away for free, right? Like I don't want that, but I want to see somebody step up against the current concept. right? Step up against the current mindset that by allowing somebody else to display my content without me generating immediate revenue, I'm losing money. Right.
Yeah.
I would say before Harris's experiment, right? Because StreamBeats was an experiment out the gate, and then he was like, holy crap, this is doing really good. Let's roll with it, right? Before Harris's experiment, and he couldn't have timed that more perfectly, honestly. Before that experiment, I wouldn't have believed that this was a thing. Like I've heard, Monster Cat. Monster Cat's been around for so long, and Monster Cat's okay, right? But it's not amazing, right? It's not super great. It's something. It's like background music to just chill and listen to. There's been Pretzel Rocks is another one. That's another platform that you can do that on.
There's never enough variety with any of those.
That's exactly right. There's FIXT Gaming. There's and now there's StreamBeats, right? There's a lot out here that are DMCA free. There's no copyright sounds, NC Sounds. There's a lot of these that are out here that are free and are DMCA free, but you just don't have those like real artists that you want to hear, right? Like it's not 311, it's not Green Day, it's not, I'm naming really old bands. I'm aging myself. It's not. Sum 41's got a new song out. There you go, Sum 41, but that's still an old band.
It's good music.
But it's not George Strait. It's oh my god, that was the wrong one to say.
Wow.
Who's the Applebee's? Who's the Applebee's on the date night guy? That guy. I don't even know his name.
I have no idea what you're even referencing right now.
You don't know the Applebee's track? We'll have to watch that later.
No.
Don't worry. We'll watch that. We'll watch that as soon as we stop recording. But you get some of these big artists and people that will listen to their songs in the car, right? Because when you get in your car, do you play StreamBeats? Do you play FIXT? Do you play No Copyright Sounds? Do you play Monster Cat? No, you don't. You listen to the radio, or you play your MP3s, or you have your iPod, or now I'm aging. You have your phone that you have your music on.
You're really killing yourself. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I listen to a lot of smaller bands these days. Like, again, I don't know, mainstream. I don't know. There's no big bands that like are really great. I feel like there were back in our day, which I'll make us sound old. And again, a lot of it too, a lot of the ones I end up finding is because they start off playing covers of the music we grew up listening to, but then they have their own stuff too, and it, kicks ass. So
yeah,
that's what I throw on.
Yeah, but it's stuff that you're gonna find. Like you can find them on Spotify, you can find them on these other platforms,
because
these other
that's
locations.
What they have to do to make money as well. Yeah,
exactly. So if you had a platform that they could go to, right, and be able to get plays, but that play is then streamable because they'll still get revenue from the plays, so they don't care, right?
That's honestly the idea, is to go to these bands looking to grow, and I'm not going to say you create a label, because obviously you probably want these people to still have the rights to their own music, but they're letting you use it on this streaming platform where, when you're guaranteeing, hey, we're going to have 10,000 streamers play your music, and that's, 8 hours per person per day type of thing. Like that's a lot of stream time. A lot of other places, you'll have an album, somebody might stream a song or two.
Yeah.
But with us streamers, if it's background music, we're playing it the whole time we're doing stuff.
It's
that's
just
5,
generating
6, 7, 8 hours.
It's really good for like so I think the way to pitch that would be you would go to a label, right? Like as a entrepreneur, as somebody who's trying to create a music streaming service, or as Spotify, right? Even if Spotify wanted to talk about this, you go to a label and you say, hey, we want to buy your artists, right? Because most of these guys that have some form of CD or production already, they have a label they have signed with at some point, right? Unless they're doing EPs out of the back of their unless they're doing EPs out of the back of their, the back of their pickup truck or whatever.
Which I think is more common these days, actually.
It actually is getting there, right? So
especially the technology we have as far as making our own stuff.
Yeah. But so if they have a label, right? If they have a label, you go to the label and you just say, hey, I want to buy this artist and I want to be able to stream their music on my service for X amount, and I'll pay you X per play or something like that. And there you go. And it works and it goes. It's just something that I would love to see. It's something that I would love to see, just to open up the doors. I would love to see somebody try to do it. The one thing that I think is really missing from the DMCA free genre is, alternative and rock music, right? There's a lot of progressive rock. There's a lot of like synthesized rock. There's a lot of, but it's all instrumentals, right? It's no like there's no vocals. There's no,
there's
it's
never
just
vocals in any of it. Yeah,
it's okay, but it's not great. It's not great.
no,
Like
it
it's
becomes
not
white
the good
noise
stuff.
after a
Yeah,
while.
exactly. But I could talk about the DMCA stuff all day. I mean, realistically, I could
Yeah.
pitch ideas, and we could talk about anything just about all day, right?
It's fair. Yeah. We should try that challenge sometime. We should do a podcast where we just get an idea thrown in from the people and be like, talk about this for an hour.
Just a
Whatever it is,
random talk about this for an
just
hour.
give us a random topic. I could do it. I don't care what it is.
Oh my gosh.
Mud.
I challenged
something stupid.
I challenged chat to pick the most random topic. So, but with that, we are 5 minutes over our 1 hour marker. Not that the 1 hour marker really matters. I just use it to kind of say, hey, here's where I need to start.
Metric, yeah.
I need to put myself somewhere. So,
it's a gag for us to stop talking.
That's our gag. There you
go.
You
need that for a while.
By the way, we didn't even intro this one, but this is episode 47.
Yeah,
We're getting so close to 52, man. We're getting so close to 52.
A half century mark. Well, yeah,
I know.
I'm more excited for 50, 52.
50?
We'll celebrate both. Yeah.
Okay.
It's half 100, man. I don't know. It's a big number for anything, isn't it?
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll celebrate 50.
Half 100.
Okay.
50.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. As always, content is getting uploaded kind of regularly. I just posted like 4 episodes today because we were a little behind schedule, but we're getting our content back up on the YouTube channel. Please go check it out, like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff as well. We love you guys. I hope you guys all have a wonderful week. We will be back next Wednesday, promptly 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hop, send us home, man.
Hey, and yeah, again, for that 1% chance there's a Twitch support person listening to this, hit us up. We'll talk to you guys next week. We love ya!